Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. This is Steph. This is an intro.
We don't know how to do intros.
Nope. And here's my co-host.
I'm Scott. I say dumb stuff.
And I hope you enjoy this wonderful show.
No, we've been just hanging.
Yeah.
We're talking about Illinois. I still need to check out Illinois because I've driven in it, but I've never spent time there.
It's not too bad.
And it's an area I would like to check out. I don't know why. It's just like one of those states. I haven't spent a lot of time in like the Midwest, and I feel like I've neglected that part of the country, and I feel like I need to get out there and I need to spend some time. So I feel like a trip is in my future. So down
Awesome.
the pipeline.
Perfect. All right. I'm just going to let him know that we're going to make it work.
Just gonna deal with it.
We're going to deal with it.
We're gonna deal with it.
We're going to deal with it.
Heck yeah, we're gonna deal with it. Because we're professionals. That's what professionals do.
Mm-hmm.
I am not
It's just-
a professional.
Your disco lights are off this time, too.
Yeah, I know. I just went with like kind of a chill vibe in the background. I'm trying to work on my LED tone to match the SBN network colors, but it's getting closer. I'm gonna manipulate a little bit.
I like it.
All right. Well, Scott and I were just talking about how everybody just refers to you as Lobster and not by your name.
It's so you are like that is how when people talk about you, and I want to point out people talk about you. You have a reputation, but
Oh,
when
boy.
people in the toy photography community talk about you, I feel like 95% of toy photographers call you Lobster, and I think it's hysterical because most of us know your real name, and I was comparing it to like other photographers who I know their real names, but I don't call Alan like posable thumbs, like I don't call him like thumbs or something like that. Like, but I call you Lobster when I'm talking about you, and people know who I'm talking about immediately, and I think it is hysterical. Where did the name come from? Please enlighten.
So there's like in the Hellboy like comics, there's like a spin-off series about this like he's kind of like Batman-ish. He's like a crime fighter named Lobster. Well, the book is called Lobster Johnson, and people call him that. But it's kind of complicated. He's referred to like as the Lobster when he's alive, but later some stuff happens after he dies, so people start calling him Lobster Johnson. So I used Lobster Johnson as my name on some forums and stuff, but it was taken here, so I just like was trying to come up with something that would not be taken, but would still have the lobster thing. And 20,000 was just not. I think I tried 2,000 and that was taken, and then 20,000 was not taken. So that's what I went with.
So good. You just picked 20,000. Yeah, you are. I think honestly, to everybody, you are Lobster, and I feel like that you will forever be Lobster. And I love the idea that like you in your real life, like people would have no idea like what you. But if like one of us saw you, we would just be like, "Oh, Lobster, what's up?" And like your real life people would be like,
Yeah.
"What? That's name's not Lobster, you idiot!" Like it's just so interesting. And the other thing that I thought was funny was when you were on John's podcast and he pointed out, or no, you pointed out that it's actually 20,000. That was the first time I had realized it was 20,000 too. And when you guys were talking about it, I had always seen it as Lobster 2000. And then it was like, you said it and I went, oh no, it's always been 20,000. And now I can't unsee it. It's like, obviously I'm like,
I've had a lot of people tell me that they thought it was 2,000.
It's kind of cool. I like it. You're a legend.
I don't know about that, but thank you.
All right. Let me see if I can pull this up.
It's time for your slideshow.
Something new and exciting for everybody.
when we started doing this, Steph and I were talking about how important it was to have visuals with the photographs, with a photograph based podcast. It only made sense to be able to see it, and so I'm really happy we've been doing it this way. But
the first photo is so bad.
Everyone thinks that
Yeah.
about themselves.
everyone thinks that about themselves, but I have to say, Steph and I talked about this before you joined us. I was looking at this, and I actually find this really fascinating because you've been doing it a lot longer than I have. I'm just straight up, it's significantly longer. I mean, look at this photo was posted in 2016, and then this is your most recent one as of when Steph put the slideshow together. But it's not like technically as good as the photographs you do now, but like you can still see the direction you were going to go in based on this photo. Like and I know that sounds weird, but like you were working towards very clearly what we now see on the right. Like it's the way you capture the character, the way that the angle, the way you're looking at him, the emotion you're trying to portray. I mean, it's you. It's clearly you. It's just that this is the one on the right's just a more refined version of you. It's you after you've played and made your mistakes and learned. But seeing this, I think I don't know. There's like an envy I have because I was a photographer first, and I've only been doing it for a little bit, and I really just took what I did in photography and stuck it with toys. So like I haven't changed a whole lot, and I want to, which is one of the reasons why I'm really enjoying this whole like taking other people's ideas and kind of incorporating them into mine. But this is I love this. I love this evolution here. I love these two photos side by side. Like I can't stop looking at them. Sorry, go ahead, Steph, before I start going on more because I will.
I just wanted to say, because like my first photo on my account, I archived. So I wasn't sure if you had done that already. And this was truly like the first one on your account. Because I was thinking about when you started. So you kind of just got to like talk about it. Like what made you post this and start this adventure 5 years ago?
I think that is my real first post. So I got into I was into comic books and stuff, or I got into that probably in like 2012 or so. So I was just, I would be in comic book stores and I would see like occasionally if there was a figure that looked cool. I wasn't really a collector, but I would get things here and there. And then I don't even remember how I came across it, but I think on the Toy Arc forum, like I saw they had like, a thread of their photos and it was just like really basic, toys, fighting stuff. But I thought that was so cool. So I, just took whatever figures I had and took these like horrible shots of them like fighting on my shelves and stuff. And then from there, I got more into collecting and I joined the Whoosh forum, which I'm still on occasionally. And there they have, they have like a Marvel section and a Star Wars section and everything. Mm-hmm. And they have a photo thread for each section like that. So there I started to see, more like guys I still talk to on here, like Crackhead 9000. He's like a really good photographer. I started to see stuff like that. There was more like, better lighting and like real toy setups. And that was kind of how I got into like trying to do that. And obviously it took me a really long time to get anywhere that wasn't the photo on the left there. But but I think even like for even probably like a year or two before the photo on the left, like I was taking, just with the phone camera stuff, like just really, really basic. And like, I have no idea what I was doing with like lighting or composition or anything, but I was taking that sort of thing, I guess.
My first photo, like been a while too, was just literally a Nindroid still on its stand out in some rocks. So I totally get where you're coming from. It's like you think of these big aspirations of like how you're supposed to be doing it, and after a while you get used to everything. But it is really like telling because you've been doing it for so long about what like sticking to it and keep working on it and what will happen. So it's actually pretty cool to
really
actually
is.
see it side by
I
side.
think so far out of the people that we've talked to, I think the drastic difference between the beginning and where you are now is just like mind blown. Too cool. What Batman is this? Out of curiosity, what figure is this?
I think that's the Mezco Dark Knight Returns. I think
Okay.
it's
That's what I was wondering.
I think it's the like bright blue one, but
Okay.
it's black and white, and I probably turned the contrast up and stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's
That's
great. I love
It's
it.
a pretty good. You know, it was I think their first one in the line, but it's still a good figure.
Oh god. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, out of curiosity, first one, Batman shot with a phone. Were you saying like that was how you kind of got started?
Yeah, I think so. I
Um,
only switched to a DSLR in last May, I think.
Okay. And I was gonna say, what do you shoot with now? What is your primary camera?
I think it's the Canon EOS Rebel T7. I think is
Okay.
the.
Ooh.
Do you use mostly the same lens, or do you have different lenses that you like to mess around with? Or
I have 3 lenses. I have the macro one which is I think a 35 millimeter. I like to use for like I think the shot on the right was with that, and then I have just the kit one that came with it. That's like I don't know exactly what it is, but it's just the standard one. And then I have a longer like I don't know the numbers on that either, but it's just for farther away stuff, and it's so those are the 3 that
is it just fixed? Is it just like a 200 millimeter, or is it like a zoom? Does it go?
No, it is a zoom. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very cool. It's so interesting. Phone to now. Oh, I love it. I love it. You should print out this Batman photo and keep it somewhere. Like it should
That's
be
a good
like,
idea. Yeah.
I feel like it should be like this is where it began. Almost like you know how you go into a restaurant and they have like the first dollar they ever made, like
Yeah.
on their like poster. I feel like you need to have this somewhere. It's I don't know. There's something really really important about it. It's a really special photo. I like it.
Thank you.
And then when you started actually collecting figures, is probably around the same time you started taking photos. Was Mezco like one of the first ones you got? I just curious about that too.
Yeah, I think it was right around that time because the first figure I got where I was like actually getting into collecting was the old DC Direct Gotham by Gaslight Batman, where it really looks like terrible articulation, but he looks like the comic book art. Really, he's really nice looking. And from there, I think the Mezco would have been like maybe I got 1 or 2 things in the meantime, but that was I kind of was lucky to get in right as they were starting because those are pretty hard to find now.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, let me move on here because I really like this one too.
Oh. I gotta.
You gotta sit still for a little bit.
Yeah, Steph, you can talk first.
Well, I want to talk a little more about the toy collecting too. Now, do you have stuff on display or like how? I am an like eccentric collector. I like pre-order stuff. I'm like a little bit crazy about things, but I'm kind of wondering your style and how you like go about it.
I like to have displays set up, but I'm always just like, putting stuff in my backpack to take it out to shoot. And like, it's just such a, like I have a display occasionally, I guess, but I have them out so often to take pictures that usually they're just kind of in a mess on my desk or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What got you
say
into the Cowboys specifically? Like some of these lone cowboy type things. What made you start doing that?
So that was last Christmas, or not last Christmas, the Christmas before last one. So it was, or I guess it was like January 2020. I got back, like I sort of hadn't played video games, or I was kind of got out of that, and then I got back into it with Red Dead Redemption 2, which is probably like like the way, if you're going to get into Westerns today, that's probably how you would do it. So I played that, and it's just really a great story, and like I really like it's just a great game. So from there, I knew I wanted a figure of the the character of that. So I made that, or sort of a, kit bash of him. And from there, I just got into like Western movies and stuff. And there's only really a few like cowboys in this scale, but I kind of got as many of those as I could.
And so you basically just do a lot of kit bashing then, like you kind of, because like you have several, don't you? Like, or you just kind of like Frankensteining them. And
there's this is the old DC Universe Classics Jonah Hex. So there's a few Jonah Hex ones. None of them are really like super articulated, but they all look nice. And there's like the NECA Lone Ranger, and then but there's a few like Old Man Logan figures that I've just kind of added like guns to and stuff, because he's pretty much a cowboy anyway. And then I've made a few customs like the Arthur Morgan from Red Dead. I kind of bashed that together from like soft goods, and like I got a painted head from eBay and stuff like that. So
it's really, really cool.
I was just thinking there isn't very many Western style figures like out and about, like even thinking like Pirates wise or anything like of that nature. That's very odd to me. It's funny.
There's
the light in the background here. I just want to ask you real quick. What is that like? What did you use for a light as your backlight there?
That's a like a LED dollhouse lantern I got from eBay. It's there's a switch on the back, and I've used it in a ton of photos. It's really it's great because it's a light source and you can have it in the picture. So I really like to use it a lot.
Really good. I like it. It looks like a lantern. It looks like like a gas lamp or something.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah. What were you going to say about the figures? Is there actually Western ones that you know of?
There's in the like 1/18 scale, the 3 3/4 guys. There's a new, well, not new. It's like a year or two old. There's still stuff coming out. The Dime Novel Legends from Chicken Fried Toys, I think.
Ooh.
So he's really moving into it's a whole Western line, and he's got cowboys and soldiers and like a saloon keeper. So I have a few of those, but I don't know if I want to I don't know if I would want to change scales completely. But he is doing like a few ones that are based on iconic characters that I like, so we'll probably pick those up.
Yeah, cool. I know that they have some 6th scale though, don't they? Like of some of the
I'm 6th scale is too big and too expensive for me to get into, but I'm really jealous of all the variety.
Mezco needs to do a couple more cowboys, I think. That'll be good.
I agree.
I feel like they could do like just a cowboy line, like a really kind of open-ended, not character specific.
I wish.
feel like people would dig that.
Yeah.
Like I think people would have a really good time with it, especially now that like these toy companies get what we're all doing now. I feel like they would be surprised. Like people are always looking for even just background characters for their other scenes with other mezcos and stuff like that. Like, cowboy army building, that should be a thing. Why not?
Well, it's funny because we have like Ninja Gomez and like all the other stuff. They can make a cowboy Gomez and do all the skulls with like the cowboy stuff. They could do the Rumble Society version. They'd be kind of sweet.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
And then you could just go buy different heads for them, and you'd be set.
Yeah. Be really awesome.
This photo. Oh my god!
I want to know where this came from because it's awesome.
I'm not even going to talk about it. Just tell me about it.
So that's the Mezco Michael Myers from Halloween. There's the scene in that where he puts the ghost sheet over him, so the one girl thinks that he's somebody else, and he's got the glasses and everything. But I just kind of like to use it as like a ghost wandering around and doing whatever. So this one, I think this was before I switched to the real camera. So this was shot on my phone in the like portrait mode where it kind of blurs the background and stuff.
That's a big thing with you. I like that element when you photograph. I love that you really, really, really bring attention to the subject.
Thanks.
You'll put it in a scene where the background is this grand scape, like just vastness, but you bring all the attention to the character or the figure, and it's just I think that's a real key element to your style. I think a lot of people, not in a bad way, people shoot differently, and um, people will put more like props and decorations and things like that in the photo. I've done it, but I think something that makes you stand out sometimes is it's just like photos like this. It's just like, here it is. This is the subject. All this stuff behind it. It's nice and it's eye catching, but it doesn't really matter because this is the important part. So
Thank you.
really cool.
So the ghost thing is like you pop the Michael Myers head off, and then this has like the neck you pop down into the body. So I put like the figure is like balancing on like a reed or something in the field, so it's like it would look like he was.
Yeah. When you go out, because I do outdoor photography too, are you go to like the same kind of places? Do you have like a couple locations that you go and do these kind of things, or do you kind of just take a walk and just figure out where you're gonna showcase all this stuff?
Yeah, I have a few like there's some good fields and like there's a few good like rock kind of outcroppings in the woods nearby that are good for that I just like to try different stuff at. Yeah.
Yeah. The reeds that's gotta be hard too. This one took a while to balance too.
Yeah.
Trying to like step back. It's been fun.
It's like, how many times did it fall and you were just like, oh God,
Mhm.
stop. Yeah.
You had to clean off the ghost sheet too. I've been there where like you get mud on your fingers. You like can't touch the toy yet when it falls. It's just a mess. It's like a massacre.
The like edges of the sheet are kind of like even right out of the box, kind of a little frayed. So he's really like he is more beat up than he was when I got him. He's taken some damage.
It looks great though in this photo. Like the amount of wear and tear on the sheet, I think just fits this photo perfectly. Like the low saturation. I love like the diagonal line of, I guess you would kind of consider it like the horizon, but where the field meets the darker vegetation back there. How that just diagonally cuts through the ghost, and like, I don't know, there's something really cool there.
Thanks.
Really, really cool.
I picked these because you do have a lot of really neat shots where the figure, you like the props, like you showcase those as well quite a bit. And it's rare to see that because a lot of people put that for like the secondary or third images when they do like the multiples, but actually showcasing that that's the shot. I really, really, really like that.
Thanks. Yeah, that was I think those are like John Wick coins or something.
Yeah.
I would be afraid to lose them in the dirt because I have like gone back to spots that I usually go to and found like Nindroid pieces out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. I have had the same. I've lost and almost lost a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I think it's inevitable when you shoot outside. I mean, that's the one thing, as outdoor shooters, we luck out because, we get to go experience it. We get to spend time outside and whatnot. But that's one thing that indoor shooters don't have to struggle with is like, oh my God, where did his handgun go? Oh no. And like, you're not digging around trying to find a black piece of plastic like this big, which I literally had to do yesterday. And like, it fell on me and I was like trying not to breathe because I was like, oh no, where is it? I'm like, it's somewhere on me. I know it is. And the minute it hits the ground, I'm never going to see it again.
My thing is like when people walk their dogs and you're out and about and then their dog just runs through my set, I about like want to like strangle somebody. I'm like, no, just got them to stand up.
Come on.
Oh God.
Get your dog under control.
You can't be mad at the puppy's trying to play, but it's like, oh my God.
Exactly.
Last summer, I got the Black Series Baby Yoda, and I took him out to the woods for the first time, and his arms come off really easily. Yeah. So I took him out for the first time to shoot him, and I got a bunch of shots, but I think his right arm popped off, and it's a little green and tan piece, so it's gone forever.
Oh yeah.
No.
That's it.
I've had one of those too where I lost, like, Nindroids come with lots of arms, but I have one that's like, she's even on my shelf right now with one arm because I'm like, I will never find it again, but it'll work.
Painful.
It's just like, yeah. Do you kind of like get figures based on kind of like the props that they have sometimes? Like this little piece of like cloth, where did that come from?
The I think that's a bag from like the NECA Trick or Treat Sam.
Mhm.
Oh
I
yeah, it
think that's what
is.
that is from like the 8-inch one where he's got the cloth
Yeah.
suit. But yeah, I definitely I don't really collect any line like, obsessively like I got to get the new thing. I just kind of anything that, I think could work for my stuff or has, parts that I could use or whatever. I do
Mhm.
kind of just go for that sort of thing.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I noticed that your page is very like you have a way that you want to do things and then you lay it out nicely. So it's just like the props that you showcase, I was like, oh, he wanted that for that. So it
I
works.
love the backlight here. Um,
Mhm. Oh, you want me to go
just
back?
oh,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
have to go back. I love the way you've done that in multiple photos. You execute it really well. It's backlight can be really tricky, and
Yeah.
it can be done very poorly. It can be done very well. It really depends on how much you're paying attention and like
Mhm.
placement and where those lens flares show up, and you just always seem to place it really well in scenes. I like seeing it. It's Your silhouetting, all that stuff. Like that was something I thought like because when Steph and I do this, this is how we've been doing it. We dig and we dig and we dig and we look through your feed over and over and over again like lunatics. And I've been looking at your feed since pretty much since we found out that you were going to be doing the podcast. Um, I just kind of kept going in cycles. I would go through it once in a while and I'd stop, go through it. And
Mhm.
that reoccurring theme, that silhouette with that backlight, or the silhouette without much backlight too, you pull off really well too. You do both of them. It's really cool. Really, really cool.
Thank you.
I love this little guy.
He's
I
a
was
great figure.
Yeah, I was noticing that you have like your dark kind of like Scott was saying, the portraits and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden I saw this one and I was like, I have to put this in here because this is just like lighthearted and kind of fun and
So
kind of
different.
like a little bit different. And this is a Mythic Legion, which I was super excited you have one too, because they're awesome. So I
Yeah,
was like,
he's a great figure. I should shoot him more. I haven't shot him in a while, but he's really a fun. I like I like the red of the armor and like his weapons and everything. He's a lot of fun.
mhm.
On Steph's point, what made you shoot this? Like, what took you away from like like your some of your like John Wick and your cowboys and like your like what do you remember? Like, what took you here?
Um, I think I don't know if I was really. I guess I kind of have like with the ghost guy and
Mhm.
this guy, I kind of have story about them, but I sort of have a sense of like what kind of character they are, I
Mhm.
guess. So I just kind of, I would bring him out with me, and this was in the woods, in the middle of the woods somewhere, and I just kind of, I don't really know if I was going for anything specific, but I just kind of liked I liked the spot, and I was just like, he would look good here, and I think he could use some, a chance to just kind of chill out.
Yeah. It's
There's almost like I'm gonna get super philosophical. All right, and you, Steph, reel me in if you need to. I haven't even been drinking. I want to let everybody know that this is a completely sober analysis of what I'm seeing here. There's something really cool about the idea of so if we think of him as like a warrior, he's sitting on this log, and it you his weapon is kind of in the darkness. Like he's almost like set his weapon aside in the darkness, and he's kind of in the light. And again, I know this is like over the top and Scott needs to reel it in, but like there's something really intriguing about that because it's like, I don't know, like his personality is almost being liberated as his weapon and his, you know, tool for murder is set aside into the shadows. And it's kind of, I don't know, there's something very cool about that. You always do that lone um, character, that troubled character, that nomad, um, that's so your wheelhouse. And I feel like you even pulled it off here with this bright kind of vibrant photo. It's still, you kind of sense that, you know, this guy's done some stuff, man. He's done some serious stuff, and now
Yeah.
he's kind of, he's just sitting there kind of pondering, working his way through it. It's, I don't know, again, over the top, but whatever. It is what it is.
I kind of do the same thing sometimes when I'm like looking at, especially when I'm editing, like, oh, like the axe being in the shadow, like wasn't something I was thinking about, but I'll notice stuff like that when I'm editing and be like, oh, that kind of like works, even if I didn't mean for it to be
That's
that
what
way.
photography is sometimes.
Yeah.
We're
Mhm.
like, we're capturing a part of a second in time, and sometimes the explanations come after. It's you're reacting. It's a very reactive art. Photography is not like, we're probably some of the most organized and planned photography out there. Most photography is not even what we do. It's like it's truly just dot 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 dot. You respond to
Yeah.
something you see, and that's the piece. And a lot of the times, the stories and the ideas and the concepts like that revolve around it come after you've already
Yeah.
seen the final product. So
I also think like as collectors and like people that like toys and even at our ages, you want to kind of connect with them too. And so I think you really take the time to like, you bought this, you paid money for it, you want to make sure you're getting the best out of it. And you felt that this environment was the best for this figure. And even afterwards, I mean, it's a great photo regardless, but it's just like, it's nice to see that you take the time to make each figure special, no matter what image or location they're in. So,
Thank you. Yeah, I try to like, really think about what figure is like I'll come up with an idea for a shot and then be like, what character is,
mhm.
best suited to that.
Yeah, I always find myself like wandering around because I carry way too much. I don't know if you pack like anything you could find that when you go out there, but I always like trying to find a location. I'm like, this is perfect for this one figure that I actually have in there, and then kind of goes from there on my process of like setting something up and kind of moving things around because you can't have too many moving pieces when you're outside because you don't want to pick them all
Yeah.
up. So yeah, so it's kind of nice.
Patrick, do you
Mm.
bring more than one figure when you go shooting, or do you kind of have a plan in mind and just bring like one or two?
Usually I'll like if I have
Mhm.
one like very specific idea and like it's not a long walk, I'll just bring one or two maybe. But usually I have load up my backpack with like, and I usually, even if I have a specific idea, I'll just bring like my main, cowboy figure and his horse and stuff because, along the way I might see a spot where I'd want to shoot him or something.
But that is so interesting, because that is literally kind of what I was talking about how photography is so reactive. It's like when you have all those pieces with you, you're not limited, so you can truly just respond to your surroundings, respond to the environment that you're in. You don't have to,
Yeah.
if you plan and plan and plan, which is something that I've tried to do on occasion. I feel like you get more and more stuck because you're like, okay, I'm going to take these two figures and I'm going to bring them to this location. I'm going to make this photo happen. And you're like, all right, that didn't work at all. And then you
Yeah.
wasted all this time. So I think, yeah, recognizing that photography has to have that little bit of an element of, we'll see what happens. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's what makes a good photo. Um, I think over planning sometimes just clutters up your creativity and clutters up your imagination.
Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm. That was a good one.
This is like very classic Western feel to me. Like this is like what I think of when I used to watch Westerns as a little kid with my dad. So it's like it's awesome. I know you like Red Dead and that's probably where it came from, but it's like very classic Western too.
Even the
I
tones. The tones are so
I really I try to like, especially if I'm gonna edit like, where it's sepia or black and white, I really like do try to think about like the older movies and like, how like I try to draw inspiration from that too and not just the modern stuff. Yeah.
Hmm. Like it's like John Wayne, like literally like black and
yeah.
white, like old school, like stuff that I used to watch and cannot watch now because it's definitely aged, but it's like it's nice to see.
It's so great. You're so good with the perspective. You really nail it. It's something that you just always seem to have the knack of, no matter how far you go back in your feed. Placing a figure into a real world environment and making it fit. Like you're good at making the viewer walk that line, trying to like toy human, toy human, toy human, toy human. It's really great. And again, your framing is always really just so neat too. The diagonal lines, use of diagonal lines. Again, being extra specific, like the trees not cutting into his head, that he stands out against kind of the lighter field, and then you've got your darker vegetation pushed up to the top. Like it's so good.
If I remember right, this one the reason I made it the like sepia tone is because like the field he's in is just like normal grass, but it was like it looked so bright and like oversaturated when I shot it. So I was like, maybe this would look better, you know, in the old times.
In the old times.
Maybe this would work better in the olden days.
Do you have a tripod when you go out by any chance?
I did have a really cheap one that just came with, you know, the kit or whatever, but that actually broke on me, so I do not have a tripod at the moment.
Do you try to balance? Because I do this too. Like I try to like hold it on one leg while you're doing your thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
One of the things I've seen some people do who do macro photography, which I've been really kind of considering recently, is sandbags. Rather than using a tripod, you take like a canvas sandbag, like about like this big. And because we all shoot so low to the ground anyway, you just put it there and you put your camera onto the sandbag, like kind of just shimmy it in so it stays nice and solid. And then you have a little more control over like your angles and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about like making adjustments with like a pan head and stuff.
I've
seen a few people do it. I've seen flower photographers do it. People who get down and shoot like nature and things like that. And I'm like, I think I need a sandbag. I kind of want to try this.
You know what's funny is Shelly from Shelly Corbin Photography. She's the one that told me to get like knee pads, like when you garden, to go out and then do the things. Because I was like taking my kitchen mats out with me, like rolled up, because I was like, how else am I gonna not like be able to get down there? But like that makes sense. I'm just wondering if I could carry any more weight, because I always look like I'm moving anyway. So it's like, let me see how much more I could carry out there.
10 more pounds, dude.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Get a workout in while I'm out there.
Do you take advantage, Padric, of like the time when you're out and about, like like just being outside? Do you really just go shoot and then go back home, or do you like relax and kind of embrace the fact that you're kind of out there doing this?
I guess it depends. Like like sometimes I do go out with like the specific, and especially if the sun is setting or whatever and the light's good, like I'll go out with the specific, you know, I'm just going to go out and shoot. But sometimes it's like I'll just go for a walk and bring stuff with me. So maybe I'll shoot something, maybe not.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I always have coffee too, so that's an extra hand. You have to do everything.
You have to have coffee with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, just finishing up on this photo though, that you and your westerns, man, that is just such a you thing. It really has become and it's, to be honest, you're one of the only people I really see doing the whole cowboy western vibe. There's not a ton of people out there doing it.
I do have to I got to give credit to at geek_creek on Instagram. He was on he has a bunch more stuff on Flickr, but he was doing the cowboy stuff way before I was, and he's really a big inspiration for me. So I kind of stole that from him.
Gotcha.
It's nice to have like
freeze on your screen.
What's that?
Looks like just his face.
Yeah, but you still hear him.
Yeah, I can hear him. I was just curious.
Can you not see me?
Yeah,
we can see like, you just frozen. It's okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not sure. It just really ate through the
the charge fast, I guess.
No,
just
it's fine.
The video.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not like a weird
There it
photo or
goes.
anything like that.
Okay.
Let it do its thing. It'll.
Yeah, you can let it sit for a bit. It probably needs to get a little more energy in it.
Yeah, it's probably
Okay.
like trying to go into like power save mode, so it's not like, you know,
Yeah.
buffering
Yeah.
as quickly. I just sound like I'm like what am I talking? I don't know what I'm talking about. That's ridiculous.
Scott's a tech expert now.
I have no idea. I just like put things together. Like I don't know how to do anything with computers. Like I had to have somebody at work today like help me with my printer because I'm just like, what's wrong with it? And they're like, you need more toner. I'm like, oh, all right. Cool.
That stuff is all doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I had to call Devin. I was like, come in here real quick and fix the internet. I don't know what's wrong with it. It was working before. So we kind of like tried out our styles, and Scott posted all his today just so you could see them all, but mine's coming up next because I had to reshoot it a couple times because I'm not quite used to shooting in other people's styles, and this has been a real challenge, which Scott says is good for my brain, so I'm going to keep going.
Is.
But
super good for your brain.
I think this next one's mine. Yeah. So I was trying to go for a samurai look because I don't have any cowboys because I was trying to look around, but
That's really cool. I like it.
I
even
think
like
the
the
way
side light over there, like that's honestly very lobster style. Like that idea of you've got these light beams on the left side, kind of backlighting him with the silhouette, and you see the hair, and like I don't know, I totally dig it. I feel it.
well, I was like, this character has a lot of cool accessories, which is what I was thinking would be the best part. Like he's actually like a living doll where his hands come off to have blades for feet, for his legs and his arms. So I was trying to go for like a close up of like his pieces. But yeah, you're like getting someone's face that dark with the silhouette behind it is not my wheelhouse, but it was a lot of fun trying to figure it out. So thank you for the hour I spent in my garage today trying to figure this out.
I can't imagine trying to shoot like in somebody else's style. Like that's a really cool part of the show, I think. And like I can't imagine trying to do that would be interesting.
It's fun. It's really fun. And I said to Steph, I mean, I haven't even been shooting any of my own stuff recently. I've just been having so much fun just trying to shoot like other people. Like I've just like neglected some of the things I wanted to do this recently. It's too much fun doing this. So it's and I really do. I love this. I love it, love it, love it. Is there
really.
a sword in his one hand? Like is there like a little bit of like a blade down?
Yeah, because his arms come off and they're both blades on
Okay,
both
so that
the
is
arms.
like a blade on the one side. Oh man, see that's cool too. Like the idea, like you see like the little bit of reflection there, and again, that's another thing that that the king here does with his weapons, silhouetting his weapons, having like a little bit of focusing on like the John Wick guns and the that's very
that
very
and
lobster style.
he has really great textures. I realized the things, and I notice those like the things when I have it like the cloth on the ghost. You can see the fraying, like the kind of like the added movement to that. So, you ready, Scott, for yours?
Yes, the one that I had to take. Like I was just like, I had to take this photo. It was so funny. So, Padric, just to give you a sense, so the other photos that I posted today, I had done. And I did have a third photo that was part of the series in case I didn't get this. But like I was very specific last night about having to do this. I drove up to my father's house, my parents' house, and my dad and I drove to this area that I wanted to do because I wanted to try to get your whole Grand Vista scene out of focus in the background. And like Steph, I don't have cowboys either. But I was trying to think about what is the idea of a cowboy? Like what do you do with cowboys? And it's that like that lone gunman, that man or woman on a mission, not always following the rules, but has their code. And so the best I could come up with was I will also admit I bought this motorcycle specifically for your style photo because I don't have horses. So I actually ordered this little motorcycle on Amazon because I was like, well, I got to give Killmonger a motorcycle because he's not going to ride a horse. And so this represents my horse and he's my cowboy. And yeah, I had a blast doing this though. It was so much fun because I don't know if I would have taken this shot otherwise if I wasn't thinking about your vibe. So seriously, thank you for giving us the opportunity to play around.
Yeah, both you guys. That's really I love them. Both your shots. It's so cool to see and just think about somebody else interpreting my own work. I guess that's really cool.
Good. Oh, I'm happy you liked it because that's always the weird part too. Like I think that's why I post it before we record because I'm just like I gotta just get this out and just be done with it so that if they like absolutely hate it, then we just have to work through it on the and we'll work through it. We'll get into an argument and it'll be fine.
That could
so
be
it's
a
like
really good episode though.
it would be really great if I just took like a garbage photo and somebody was like really insulted by it and then I had to try to record with them like a couple hours later. That would be really uncomfortable. But I am happy you liked it. Oh, you know what I just realized? It says it still says the Trini photographer style.
Oh no.
It's not. It's Lobster 20,000 style. So for our people watching our slideshow.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, your style is like I said, it was really fun to go through. It was really fun to look at. I had a blast even doing like the silhouette photos and that I pulled from like your John Wick style stuff, and then trying to do kind of like a cowboy representation was really fun too. Again, not having a cowboy and having to think outside the box a little bit was just it was a blast. It was really, 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 really fun. So. Yeah,
no, it was awesome to see.
What do you have in the pipeline? Anything new you're wanting to try out? Anything a little out of your comfort zone?
I guess I have within the next. I'm just waiting on one more to arrive, so then I can ship everything at once. But I'm after I rewatched all the Star Wars movies a couple months ago. I don't want to get really into it because it's such a rabbit hole to fall down. But I got a few clone troopers from the new Black Series ones, so I'm hoping to do some more Star Wars stuff going forward.
That's awesome. Just be careful. That's all I can say. Just be careful. I was just like while you were fixing your thing, I was just talking to Steph about like so I just started like getting these Hot Wheels Star Wars things. I haven't even taken them out of the box. I just keep seeing them and I'm like, I want that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but they're so cool. They're little Hot Wheels Star Wars things.
That was me with the new NECA Ninja Turtles, is taking all my self-control to not grab them. And every time I go to Target and there's any of them there, I'm like, I really want these, but I'm going to say no.
They're cool. I like the paint applications on them and stuff are really neat. And I'm not a big Ninja Turtles person. I was big into Ninja Turtles when I was a kid, but I looked at those and wow, they're really cool. They almost remind me of the they have kind of that there's a video game with action figures. It's called Borderlands.
Right.
Yeah, they have the cell shading.
It almost has that kind of paint vibe, and I just think that they just execute it so well. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Looking. But yeah,
I've been looking at people's photos of them, and it's like intriguing. But Ninja Turtles don't belong in the forest, so I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So it works.
So here you go, Padric. If and I posed this question to a few people. So you could have any figure, any character, any character from anything, any movie, any show, comic book, whatever you want, manufactured by a company of your choice. What would it be?
Wow.
I know it's intense, stressful even.
Uh, I would say just based on like, and this is somebody I actually made a custom of years ago, but it wasn't, it doesn't hold up. I'm gonna try it again someday, but it just because I don't think he's ever going to get made otherwise. The in the do either of you play video games at all? Is that
My boyfriend does quite a bit. Yeah.
I'm not like super into it, but back in high school, I was really into this game, Dishonored, which is like
Mhm.
this like fantasy, like kind of
Yeah.
like 18th century England ish universe, and there's like like magic people with magic powers running around and stuff. But the he's a villain in like the main story, but you play as him in the like expansions. There's this like assassin named Dowd. He's voiced by Michael Madsen, like from
Ooh.
Tarantino, and he's
Mhm.
just really like he's a great character, but he's not the lead character. Like, there's never been Dishonored figures other than like Funko stuff, so
Yeah.
he's not the lead character, and you know, uh, he's probably never going to get made, but he is like one of my favorite characters. So I'd really like to see him made by like Mezco or somebody. I think
That's
that would
cool.
be cool.
I like that. That's a good one.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's something I think about sometimes because it's and I change from day to day, but
Yeah.
there are having. I think it comes from being a Star Wars fan as somebody who they used to just make like the figures with the 5 POA figures. I mean, it was just like there were characters that didn't even have names until the figures were made. And it was just like they would just throw so many. Like I think there's that gel. Like I almost miss that, and I almost wish that they could still do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Because every once in a while, like with some of the newer Star Wars movies, I was like, wow, that would be like a fun figure to photograph. But there's like the character does not matter at all.
Yeah.
Like, did you
Mhm.
the characters that Kylo is just shredding through at the beginning of Rise of Skywalker? They're just like these kind of like dirty little grubby like weird wood people. They would make such cool figures, but they don't matter. They're just like they're just useless. Like no one Hasbro's not going to pay to manufacture that figure, but that would just be such a great figure to take pictures of just cuz it's so cool looking. But it's like I always like to imagine like
I always like when people like take a character that isn't like doesn't really get much to do or whatever, and they kind of make that character their own, and like you
Mhm.
know like there are some figures where like if I see it in like a picture or whatever, I'm like, oh, that's like I just associate it with certain photographers because
yeah.
they've done so much, I guess.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of like why I like the Mythic Legions ones so much is because there is no background story to them. You get to have your way, like with whatever they're doing and happening, and other people can have a totally different storyline, and it works with everything
Yeah.
going on. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no preconceived notions. And
Mhm.
that's I think a really fun thing that you can do.
Mhm.
Especially when you get away from like I mean, Patrick, you get to do that with the Cowboys and stuff, even though, I know some of them are actual characters, but you can do whatever you want. Put them in any situation because nobody's gonna care. That's sometimes you run into that a little bit with the Star Wars figures. Like you
Yeah.
get these weirdos out there who are like, he'd never do that. It's like, oh come on, like it's a toy. It's like get over it. But you don't run into that. Or with like Mythic Legions. I mean, you can just go and just
Mhm.
create. It's like being a little kid again. I mean, that's the fun. That's what we did like with those toys. I mean, I remember setting up these really elaborate games where my figures would be going on all kinds of quests and whatnot. It's like I'm just doing it now as an adult and taking pictures and calling it photography so that I can still play with my toys. So,
What's kind of like an out of the box figure that you kind of like would really want to take a photo of, like something completely off base for your account?
Oh, wow. Hmm. Um.
be careful what you say here because when I was on the podcast, I said Nendos, and now I've got freaking Nendos in my life. So
Those are pretty cool.
Be careful,
Mhm.
because you might say something and then you're gonna all of a sudden end up with them in your life.
I just got some dinosaur figures from Eva's sale, and that's what I was thinking for you. For like, it would be just cool to have like that raw like animal kind of thing.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know. It's not something I've really thought about.
I know it's a big question.
I guess. Man, I really don't know. I guess just like occasionally I'll see like I guess I would say like the not Nendo specifically, but like that sort of thing where it's like the more stylized like there's I think there's like Beast Kingdom or something like they do the like DC movies and stuff. Like I see those like where they're not like statues, but they can still move and stuff, but they have like big heads. Like I always think those look kind of fun. I guess I would say something like that where they're like not realistic, but they're still toys.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, that would be an interesting thing for you because you tend to shoot realistically, so it'd be kind of fun to see you like your interpretation of something that is more cartoony, more stylized, something that's like a caricature of a real character. Because sometimes like when you look at your photos, sometimes it's that that thing a lot of us try to go for where it's you don't know if it's a toy or a person. And so it would be pretty wild to see you go on some crazy tear with a bunch of Nendroids or something.
Especially like with do you do any photography indoors or like?
I do, yeah. I don't have like I'm really not great at like lighting setups, and I don't have like a ton of dioramas or anything, so I'm kind of like I guess I prefer outdoors, but I do stuff indoors. It's just more of a struggle, I suppose.
I find it kind of like indoors you feel like you're like sucked into like a box, like you can't get out, like there's enough air, enough space to move around sometimes. So it's like it's funny.
Yeah, I struggle with indoor photography. I'm trying to get a little better at it. I tried to get a little better at it this winter and stuff, just with all the snow. But then I ended up shooting in the snow, so it was like didn't really end up doing it. But it's I wanna play with lighting and things like that again. It's I haven't done it in a while, but we'll get there. Cool.
All right. Well, I think we made it to the end.
We did.
Awesome.
We've been really pretty good at doing this hour format. I gotta say, I don't know, especially with someone like me who can ramble. I think honestly, I have to credit Steph for this, being able to keep me under control, because I think the potential to just sort of explode and go off in a million different directions is very high when I'm present. So, before we actually like end the live part of this, Padric, I know you have your Instagram account at Lobster20,000. We've seen it scrolling on the bottom. Do you use anything else? Are you like a Twitterer or a Facebooker or anything like that?
Nope. This is
just your sole thing.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just we've been trying to like check with that at the end, because there are people who kind of do like multiple outlets and people who cosplay and do photography and whatnot. But so this is you, Lobster 20,000. You will forever be Lobster, man.
Yeah,
forever.
I have a story for you guys too on that one. I accidentally sent, because we were going to think about doing cosplayers for the top podcast, those questions to a toy photographer, and he was just like dying because he's like, I don't know how to answer any of these. I felt really bad. He's like, I'll just break out my Sailor Moon outfit. I was like, oh. But I really appreciate you joining us, Padric. Like, cause I think this is like the first time we've really chatted, and I like to see people in person and like get to know them a little bit. So it's kind of
nice. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's an honor.
Heck yeah. No, dude, seriously, really, really. I've been following you for a while. Love your photography. You've just You're a big part of this community. Whether I know you were kind of laughing when I said that, but like, people know who you are. You are not invisible by any means. Like you are Lobster. We know you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well,
So we typically. Well, y'all, thank you for listening to another wonderful episode of the combined SBN F-Stop Rebel podcast. Truly a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed everything. Remember, please do not grow up. It's a waste of time. I am Scott, F-Stop Rebel, and there's obviously Steph.
Yep, I'm still here, and you can find me at Slag My Thrilla or the SBN. You'll see all the credits on the end, but I always want to say, just guys, stay awesome and keep it up.